Hello forest friends, welcome back to my fantasy forest. Let's look at my latest teapots that arrived this month. It's perfect for a forest fairy like myself. Sadly, the handle came broken, but we managed to fix it as best as possible. And it looks as good as new. I've never had a teapot as big as this, and I've been looking to get my hands on a mushroom one for a while now. They are hard to come by. This teapot also came with a little sugar bowl, which is equally as lovely and a perfect addition to my forest desk. I received another DIY miniature set from Rolife, a lovely little kitchen to put together. I really did enjoy putting this set together, especially as it's filled with baked goods and I absolutely love baked treats. Yet now that I've made quite a few sets, I've decided in the future it's time to branch out and create my own little miniatures from scratch. On my Slow Cozy account, I recently created a miniature fairy tea time table, and I placed it in our garden before I left for Finland. I am hoping this summer to make a miniature fairy house that I will either leave in our garden or go and take to our local forest to leave for the fairies. I have always been drawn to miniatures. I started making them about 2 years ago, where I would dream of the company Rolife collaborating with me. Yet I hadn't started making content yet. I had no idea where I would begin or how to even go about making content. And yet here I am, making a miniature set for my favourite company Rolife. This is my 5th collaboration with them, and I have another miniature set waiting to be made for them. One thing that making content and miniatures have in common is the journey. It can be wonderful to watch your progression and to see how far you've come. To see how my content has progressed through this last year is amazing to me. It feels like I'm creating something truly beautiful, and I can't wait to see where I will be next year. Speaking of journeys, here you will see the DIY miniature sets I've made over the last 2 years. Half of them have come from collaborations, and the other half were sets I purchased myself and started me on my miniature making journey. As time went on, I started to alter the sets and add my own touches to them. This little ice cream shop is the first ever set I ever made, where I added more greenery to the roof and some additional flowers to the front garden. It was creating this set that made me love miniatures and the company Rolife. I've tried out many different companies and they really do make the best sets. These are also Rolife sets that I altered and added my own autumnal touches to. Here's our favourite little kitchen again. It's filled with so many details and I'd love to have a kitchen like this someday. Do you like making miniatures? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. Another journey I've recently embarked on is starting a keyboard collection. Mechlands made me so happy when they slid into my DMs and asked if I wanted to try out 4 of their keyboards. I would have been happy with just 1, but 4 was just epic. My aesthetic goes best with black, but you can get these keyboards in white too and a variety of colours. From what I've seen, it appears that a lot of girly cozy gamers prefer white aesthetics, but I'm neither girly nor just a cozy gamer. I like my tech to be black or wooden. Perhaps I could find some green tech in the future. If you saw in my last vlog, I've also started collecting keycaps too and playing around with those. It's been pretty scary changing caps for the first time, but it is amazing. As someone who follows the seasons, I can change my caps to suit my seasonal forest. It is now time for me to say goodbye to my fantasy forest and to venture into the great outdoors and head to the land of Moomins, also known as Finland. Not only does my player 2 Calli live there, but Moomin land is surrounded by forests, which makes it the perfect place for me and my forest core vibes. I know once I get there I won't want to leave, but the only thing that will help me return to the UK is the thought of coming back to this space and my family. What's the first thing you do when you arrive in another country?
You find the nearest gamer shop and buy as many Pokemon cards as you can.
We found ourselves the day after I arrived. We got home around midnight, going to our favourite gamer shop.
Yeah, we did rest a bit at first, but then you wanted to go straight to the shop Puolen kumpelit.
What's the translation of that? I'm not even going to try to attempt and say it.
I'll only translate it if you give it a go in Finnish.
Okay, say it again, but slowly.
Puolen kumpelit.
Puolen kumpelit.
I've heard worse. So Puolen kumpelit translates to Half Moon Games in English.
Okay, I like that, it's sweet. But I think we're actually missing the beautiful video I made for our viewers. I guess everyone can see that we are clearly browsing for game alert.
Yeah, we didn't buy any of the things you've been showing here.
Yes, hence why I said we are browsing.
Uh-huh.
But look, Poke Cards! Your absolute favourite.
You only let me get 1 pack. Look at your 3 packs of Final Fantasy cards.
That's because I don't come here very often and I've never seen these trading cards in the UK. Also, I live in the middle of nowhere, so I don't get to browse gamer shops like you, city boy. But you did open the cards for me, so you got the joy of that.
Yeah, but I don't even like Final Fantasy.
But we met in Final Fantasy Online and you like me.
Yeah, that's different. I found my prize in the game, and then I had nothing to do in there anymore, so I stopped playing. My job there is done.
Uh-huh, but we're not married yet.
Yeah, but we'll be soon.
We also met up with our best friend Seby, who we also met in Final Fantasy XIV Online. I really wanted to buy these mangas as I love the anime, but I knew they would likely just sit on a pile of mangas to read, as I am a dragon who likes to collect books more than actually reading them. Seby also doesn't play Final Fantasy Online anymore, but he is now obsessed with painting Warhammer pieces. But I am still and always will be a massive Final Fantasy fan. We also headed to a funfair together. We absolutely love them. Don't all gamers? It's not about the rides, it's about all the games and arcades you can experience. Although it's so hard to win anything, they seem to all be rigged or something. You can even buy the prizes now, but for a small plushie they seemed a little too steep for me. Even if I did want Pickle Rick. Calli tried to get one for me, but no such luck with the flimsy crit. I love Rick and Morty, and also I love pickles, and so do the Finns. It only seemed fitting to win a pickle plushie in Finland, but maybe next time. The Finnish also love licorice, and they even have licorice ice cream, which I really don't like. When you're a gamer couple, you often find comfort in watching your partner play, especially if you can't play yourself. There were many times where I needed to just rest, so I watched Calli play WoW, where I felt safe and cozy as he was right next to me. It would be nice to go home and be able to play WoW with him again, but I really can't wait for our duo setup in the future, where we can play all our online games together side by side. It's been really nice to play local co-op games together, and we've especially enjoyed Capquest 2, which is an action role-playing game that is easy to play, but that is if Calli can remember that I'm actually sat next to him, play solo, and not start the game as single-player mode. Your fiancé is sat here, you know. I guess he's used to playing games without me by his side more than he is not. Unbelievable. We like to bicker a lot, but not for real. We don't actually fight. I am not sure we've ever had a fight before, but we've gotten upset with each other for sure, but it's not often at all. We like an easy life and don't enjoy fighting. Just playful bickering is funny and keeps us on our toes. One of my favourite things we did this month was going on our very first PR stay in Finland. where we stayed in this location in exchange for some content. We promised to showcase their place, especially with our drone. This location was the perfect place for it. With the villa being surrounded by trees and lakes, we got to see the most magical views. Finland is truly the dream place for me to visit, as I get to be submerged in trees and nature. Calli is great using a drone. I knew he always would be, and I love flying a drone too. Whilst I was here, I also taught him how to use my DSLR camera, so now, when we are together, he will be filming me more and more. I'm sure as the time goes on, this will become a more regular thing, and we are hoping to go bigger with our content and look for more opportunities that involve gaming and staying in magical locations. I think that is a big dream of ours as a couple, to be living together and working on content as gamers and experiencing different parts of the UK and Finland together. Of course, we want to travel to other places too, but we will have to prepare those for a long time with my disabilities. We mainly filmed in the day whilst we were here, creating content for the owner and for all of you guys. Being surrounded by woodlands was perfect, especially as we heard no other noises other than the birds and nature. We had a cuckoo bird that kept making an appearance. It was really calming and tranquil. I hope in the future we can stay in a cabin with our favourite people. Our best friends Seby, Kitty and our brother, we actually call him brother as a name. We are still not sure what our wedding will look like, but we did decide we wanted to elope. Yet that will likely include Seby, Kitty and our brother. Seby was my first friend in Final Fantasy XIV online, and then came Kitty, then my fiancée Calli came along. I'd never played an MMO before, so I assumed Calli was a girl, like his character. So I was probably a little more friendly to him than most, which he obviously liked. Seby, Kitty and I had already spoken on voice chat, so when Calli arrived in voice chat, I thought I heard him talk to me and say hello, but what I actually heard was an echo of my own voice saying hello, all excited. Then, when he spoke in his deep husky voice, I was quite literally knocked off my feet and became secretly obsessed with his voice. We then started chatting more and more as friends. The more time we spent together with Seby and our other best friend Kitty, who I will introduce to you more in future videos. The four of us became inseparable and would play Final Fantasy constantly together, talking on voice chat most days of the week. So sitting next to Calli and sharing birthdays with him will never get old for me. I feel like I'm living my dream and I couldn't ask for anything other than getting to do this all the time and actually living in the same place. It's the same when we get to games side by side. It sometimes feels like I'm dreaming, as we are just so happy in each other's company. Something neither of us have felt in previous partners. I think it's partly due to the fact we are the bestest of friends. And even when, say, Calli goes to work in the week, he still calls me any free moment he gets and asks what I'm up to and to check I am looking after myself. It's not because we're codependent, we live apart for goodness sake. We just really love each other and being in the same company together. I don't see that even changing when we live together. Some might say otherwise, but we are now in our 30s, getting ready to settle down, and all we want is a simple, nice life together, just like in Stardew Valley, where we can do our daily tasks together, have our own little family, however that will look. Although I'm not sure I want to build a farm like this together. It looks really pretty, sure, but I can't even find the door as I've planted too many trees everywhere. As much as that would look amazing, and Calli has been telling me off for ages as he can't find the way back to our farm, I am starting to see he actually has a point. But yes, to us living in nature together, somewhere that is surrounded by trees, and where our garden is filled with animals and lots of gorgeous flowers. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment and sub if you haven't already. See you next time.